Everyone, welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that you're here, I'm Patti, and on Thursdays we do budget-friendly home decor. And I have 6 super easy fall DIYs for you that I think you're really going to enjoy. I got a lot of fall, Halloween, Christmas stuff coming up. So if you don't want to miss out on any of that, be sure and subscribe, ring that bell so you're notified when I have a new video upload. And if you liked any of the projects in my video today, be sure and give me a thumbs up because it really does help my channel. Thank you so much. Let's get started. Okay, for this first one, I'm going to take a Slinky from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to go ahead and wire these two ends together and wrap it around there several times so it does stay together. Now, I know it does look flimsy, but we are going to make this pretty solid here in a minute. Okay, then we're going to take a 3-inch piece of wood. It's just a little round circle piece of wood, and just glue it to the bottom. Now, put plenty of glue on this because you do want this to stay together well. And then just make sure your circle is straight and kind of push it down so that those little coils kind of curve. And then after it dries, flip it over and we're going to put another one on the bottom. Just make sure you put plenty of glue. Okay, after that dries, I'm going to paint it with a Krylon Pumpkin orange paint. Okay, I got that little stem at the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to glue this right to the top. And then the greenery that I'm going to put on there, I actually bought that in a garland. I think I got that at Hobby Lobby. I'm just going to take it and glue it all the way around just to cover up that piece of wood. And you could put any kind of greenery on here that you want to, or you could even put peat moss on it. You want to make it pretty full though, so you do cover up the wood. For a $1.25 little Slinky, I think this turned out super cute. Let me know in the comments which one's your favorite today. Okay, for my next one, I'm going to take the Waverly Antique Wax, and I got these eggs, these wooden eggs on Amazon, and I'm just going to paint these. And then I'm going to take a paper towel and kind of wipe them off because I just really wanted just the tint. I didn't want them real solid. Just kind of wipe them off in a paper towel just to kind of give it a little tint. And then I'm going to make acorns out of these. I'm just going to take some jute string and I'm just going to start kind of about 2/3 from the bottom, and I'm going to start wrapping this around. And try to get as close as you can on your jute so you don't see the egg through it. You just want to make sure that your jute is tight as you're going around each row. Now, if you don't have to use wooden eggs on this, you can use plastic eggs, but the wooden eggs really looked good. And then once you get to the top, you're going to go ahead and leave a little bit of a tail left over so that you have a stem. And then go ahead and glue that off. And then to get all the frayed edges of the jute, I'm just going to take a lighter and kind of lightly go it around it just to make sure I get all those little frayed edges off of it. Just something simple, and these turned out so cute. Let me know which one's your favorite in the comments. For this next one, I'm using the Jenga blocks from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to make them into a square, and I'm just going to glue them together with some wood glue. Now, you don't have to clamp these. These will stay together just fine. And you're going to build several of them, and they're all going to be exactly the same. Okay, after you've built 7 of them, we're going to start stacking them. And we're just going to kind of eat diagonal each one of them. So we're going to start by making this diagonal on this one. And then we're going to make the one that goes on top of that one just like the one that's below it. So we're just going to alternate as we go all the way up. So that one will be like that. And then the next one will be square on top of that. And keep going till you have them all stacked up. Just kind of take some time and line them up. You can tell by the points whether they lined up or not. And just keep going until you have all 7 of them on there. And then we're going to take 3 more Jenga sticks, and we're just going to go ahead and glue these together. And we're going to put this across the top to cover up that opening. And I'm just going to paint it with a Waverly plaster colored chalk paint. And then I'm going to come back in and I'm going to distress it with the Waverly Antique Wax. I'm taking a little chip brush and I'm just going to kind of just lightly rub it around there until I get it to the color I want it. And I'm going to do it all over it. Just kind of distressing it out pretty good. And these little chip brushes, they work really well. I got these on Amazon. You actually get 100 of these brushes for like $8, but they are really good for the distressing. And I'll give you the link for those in the comments below. I wanted to show y'all this little mini table saw that I got on Amazon. It really cuts good. I'm going to cut these stems in half. Now this will cut up to 1/2 of an inch. And it has a little guide in there to hold it in place. You just turn it on, push it down, and it cuts. This thing works really good. I mean, you got to still be careful because it is a saw. But if you're cutting Jenga blocks and stuff like that, it really works great. And then I'm just going to use some hot glue to glue my stem onto the top of this. And then I'm using some peat moss just to kind of go all the way around, just to kind of fill it in. And then trim some of the long pieces off of there. Now for the stem, I'm just going to take some wired paper and I'm just going to wrap it around a 1/4 inch dowel stick to make a little stem. I'm just going to wrap it around the top part here, kind of bend it around there, and then add some greenery. And then I got this mesh ribbon on Amazon. I'll give you the link for it. I'm just bending it, you know, twisting it up a little bit, and I'm going to stick it onto the side. And then I'm going to add a couple little pine cones over the top of that as well. Okay, I really like the way this piece turned out. I do love the rustic decor at my house. Let me know what you think in the comments. Okay, for this next one, I'm just going to use the little dice from Dollar Tree. And these are the ones that you get in a pack of 3. And I'm going to use a 1, and then I'm going to use 2 together and 3 together. So I'm building 3 pumpkins, a 1, a 2, and a 3. And I'm just going to glue them together with the wood glue. And then just if anything that oozes out on the side, you want to go ahead and clean it off while you're doing this. And then just let those dry up real good, and then we're going to paint them. Okay, and I'm just using the Waverly chalk paint in pumpkin. And I'm going to paint all 3 of them exactly the same. And then I'm going to take the Waverly Antique Wax and I'm going to antique them. Now I'm going to use that same saw to cut my stems. And the stems I got at Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to cut them a little bit shorter. And I'm just using hot glue to glue these to the top. And then I'm using some of that same peat moss just to go around the tops of each one of these. And I got my peat moss at Michael's. This one's pretty good because it doesn't come just in a bag all loose. You actually have to cut it apart so it does stay together a little bit better, and I'll give you the link for that below. And then I'm going to do the same thing for all 3 of my pumpkins. And I'm attaching some of that same greenery to each one of these. And I'm going to add some pine cones as well. And I got those little pine cones at Hobby Lobby. You get a pretty good sized bag of them. And I'm doing all 3 of my pumpkins exactly the same. And for the little trindles, I'm taking the same 1/4-inch dowel stick. I'm wrapping it around 10 times. And I'm going to add 2 of them to each one of my pumpkins. Just going to kind of wrap it around the stem. And just kind of glue it in there a little bit. Hey, those were super simple, but they did turn out really nice. Let me know what you think. Okay, for this next one, I'm taking 3 4x4s. I'm taking a 9-inch, a 6-inch, and a 3-inch. And I'm just going to take a knife and I'm just going to make grooves in it. Now, I'm just starting at the edge with my ruler, and I'm just going to make grooves all the way across to make it look like it's got divisions in the wood. And just take your knife and just start digging through it, and then do the same thing on that side as well. And you're going to do all 4 sides on each one of those. And it really didn't take that long to do. I'm taking some dark walnut stain, and I'm going to stain all 3 of my pieces. This really was a pretty color with this combination. And the 4x4s, they take the stain really well. Okay, I'm using a stick I found in my yard, and I'm going to cut it into stems. And then stain it with that same dark walnut color. I'm looking for the more industrial look on this pumpkin, so I'm going to add these little corner pieces to it, and I'm just going to take my drill some pilot holes in it, and put some screws in it. And I'm going to do, for the short one and the middle size one, I'm just putting one on each corner, on the top and the bottom. And then on the larger one, I'm going to actually put some in the middle as well. But you do want to start a pilot hole so you don't split your wood. I'm just taking a small drill bit to do that. And then I'm using little black screws to screw this together. Now, I'm going to have to use shorter ones on one side than the other side because they did overlap. So I had to get some shorter screws for one side, and I can use the longer screws on the other. Or you can use short screws on all of them. And on this larger one, I'm going to put 3 down the front of it, all the way around. Next, I'm going to go ahead and glue on my little stems. And then I'm going to add some moss right around the top. I'm just going to kind of pull it open in the center and glue it down. And I'm going to do that to all 3 of these. Just kind of trim it up a little bit and then just glue it in. Then I've got some 3mm wire, and I'll give you the link for that below. And I'm just going to wrap it around a 1/4-inch dowel stick 10 times to make the little tendril for the pumpkin. And then I'm just going to cut it off about right there. And then I went back in and did curl it back up because I changed my mind on how I wanted to do it. So I'm holding it up there, and then I decided to bend it in half. And so I am going to go ahead and back in, and I'm going to finish out curling up that area right there. And I'm going to do this for 3 of them. I'm going to spray paint the tendril with some oil rub bronze. I'm also going to paint some leaves with the oil rub bronze, and I'll show you at the end of the video how to make these. Okay, then to attach the leaves and the tendril, I'm just going to use some E6000 glue and a combination of hot glue together. just to hold it till it dries. And I'm going to do the same thing with the little tendril. I'm going to just glue those on exactly the same way. Just put a little dollop of glue right there, a little hot glue, E6000 glue. We're just going to put this here. After these dry, I'm going to come back in with some moss, and I'm just going to put it over the top of it just to hold it all together to make sure it stays in place. And I'm going to do that with all 3 of them. Even though there was a lot of steps in this was really a pretty simple little project. Alright, those turned out super cute. If you like rustic farmhouse decor, you definitely want to make these. These are so beautiful. Let me know in the comments what you think. For this one, you're going to need 2 little house shapes. I'll give you the link for those. You're going to need some planks from Dollar Tree, some little squares, some long stir sticks. And we're going to start by drilling a hole right through the top part of these because we are making like a little toolbox. So go ahead and line them up because you want to make sure that you get the hole in exactly the right place because we are going to run a dowel stick through them. And I'm probably coming down a 1/2 inch from the very top and just kind of centering it. And I'm going to go ahead and start my hole. And then I'm going to go ahead and put them together and drill all the way through together. Next, I'm going to go ahead and take some wood glue and I'm going to start attaching them to this long plank. And we're just going to stand it up, and then those little blocks is what we're going to use to brace it. And I think you get like a 5-pack of those wooden planks at Dollar Tree. And we're going to put one on each side, and then we're going to do the same thing for the opposite side. Then we're going to take our wood, our stir sticks, and we're just going to mark them, and then I'm going to cut them on my saw. And I'm going to cut 2 per side, and just make sure they're exactly the same. And these will fit perfectly on one of those wooden planks. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and hold the planks up there, make sure that they're exactly where we want them, and then we're going to put our wood sticks on them. Now we'll have a gap between them, so it'll look more like a crate, which is exactly what we're wanting. And we're just going to put wood glue on there to hold them together. And I got those stir sticks at Lowe's. They're the larger stir sticks. I think they're called 5-quart. And then you want to go ahead and clamp it. And then do the same thing for the opposite side. Just make sure you leave a gap between them. To attach them, we're just going to glue down both sides and the bottom, and then we're going to put a little dollop of glue onto the little blocks as well to attach these, and then we are going to clamp these. Just kind of line it up there, make sure it's even, and then go ahead and clamp them. And then after this dries, we'll do the opposite side. Now we're going to measure for our handle. Just make sure you go from side to side, from the outside edge to outside edge, and go ahead and mark it, and we're going to go ahead and cut that off. And then we're going to go ahead and attach the other side. Since that side's dry, And we're just going to go down the sides, the bottom, then the 2 little blocks to glue this one on. And then we're going to clamp this one as well just to make sure it stays in place. And just get any excess glue off. And then we're going to spray paint this in a little bit, so don't worry so much about the glue. Okay, now I'm going to attach my handle, and this is a 5/16 inch dowel rod, and I'm just running it right through. Now you are going to probably have to hammer it because I only drilled that out with a 5/16 inch drill bit. And so I'm going to take a little rubber mallet and hammer it on in there. And just kind of get it lined up with the opposite side and then run that through that hole all the way to the end. And just kind of make sure that it is flush on both sides. All right, look how cute that little toolbox turned out. You could use this for any holiday. Okay, now I painted it with some oil rub bronze paint, and I'm just doing something super simple. I'm just tying one of these Dollar Tree little leaves on here. I'm going to add a little bit of greenery in here, and then I'm just going to put 2 little pumpkins in here. This is just a simple, easy little decor piece that just looks really cute. And I'm just got those little leather pumpkins at Dollar Tree. Well, pleather. All right, for just a simple little piece of decor, I think this turned out super cute. Let me know what you think. Okay, if you want to know how to make the leaves, I'm just taking some brown oven baked clay, and I'm just going to roll it out with a rolling pin, and I'm going to get it pretty thin, probably about 1/8 of an inch thick. And then I'm just going to cut it out with a 2 1/4 inch cookie cutter, a circle cookie cutter. Just kind of pull it up off the board first so that you make sure that you can get it because you don't want to stretch it. Then once you got it like that, we're going to cut it into 4 equal pieces, like 4 equal pie pieces. And then we're going to take each piece and we are going to fold it up till it's about 1/4 of an inch from the edge, and make sure your sides stick out straight. Just kind of push them out there straight, and we're going to stack them. Just make sure that you do get them even. And don't press on them. Then we're going to stand them up straight. I'm just going to take a barbecue skewer and I'm going to push down backwards on it. Then I'm going to pull each section up to a point to make the leaf shape. And then I'm going to take the, pick it up, I'm going to squeeze it together to get that centerpiece shut. And I'm going to squeeze the top up a little bit, and then I'm going to squeeze the bottom edge at the bottom as well, just like that. Then bake them at 275 degrees for 25 minutes. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video today. All of these projects that I made today were pretty easy to make, and the supplies were very budget friendly. If you like these kind of videos, be sure and give me a thumbs up, and if you want to see future videos, be sure and like, subscribe, and ring that bell to be notified when I have new video uploads, because I got a lot of holiday coming up soon. Thank you so much for watching. Have a blessed day.